Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 829. My name is Christine, and on today's episode I'm showing you a technique using the Fawn stamps and the Gelli Arts printing plate. So I'm going to start by showing you these stamps from Fawn. This one here is the chevron backdrops. We have the interlocking backdrops. This one is Belinda's Borders. It's really cute little designs. Here we have A Birdie Told Me. Fanciful Frames. And then Happy Everything. This is a great set because you just mix and match. So you have your happy, and then it's birthday, Easter, Mother's, Thanks, Father's, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Merry, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year, St. Patrick's, and there's day up here. Valentine's, Halloween, Kwanzaa, grandparents, graduation, and anniversary. So this one set can cover you for all year long. Happy everything. So I was working on making some little fun postcards using these stamps and the Gelli Arts printing plate. So I'm going to show you a couple I made. This one, these first few, I just have a bit of the border on it, and then I once the paint dried, I stamped my frame and happy birthday. So it's very similar, same technique. So then on this one here, I layered a couple colors. So we have that one design there. You can see we have the bigger chevron here, and then I stamped over with the borders and added my little bird with happy birthday, and I put a little bit of glossy accents over my bird just to make the bird shiny. And this one's similar. What I did with these two as well is I also added in some distress ink into the whiter areas. And I have my paint. You can sort of see there's some design under here with the chevron, and then I over-stamped in areas and put my little bird. And looking at this one makes me realize too is that when you were doing it, we want to do lighter colors of paint if we're going to be stamping over top, because this one it's a little harder to see the bird in that. So it's all learning about your colors and what to use. So I'm going to show you how I use the stamps with the Gelli Arts printing plate. This is the Gelli Arts printing plate. This is the 6x6 one, and there's also a larger one that I showed the last time I did a video using the plate. Because I'm working on postcard size and card size, I'm just going to use the 6x6 one. I always just throw a piece of paper under just to catch my extra paint in that. I'm going to be using these paints from Echo Green Crafts. Unfortunately, it would seem that Echo Green Crafts actually doesn't exist anymore, but I still have the paints and I still like the paints, so I'm going to use it. And I'm going to use the chevron stamps. Now when I'm doing this, I like to put my stamps on a block. So I'm going to use that one. There on my block. And I have my postcard. I had just cut a piece from a watercolor piece of paper. I like to use watercolor paper for postcards just because it's thicker. So if you're mailing it, it will hold up more. But if you're just doing this for a card or your journal, you can use any paper for this. So part of the trick is you just want a little bit of paint. You don't want too much paint. You can always add paint if we don't put enough on. I like to use a couple different colors when I do this because it just makes an interesting background with the mix of colors. Then you take your brayer and you just want to cover your plate. Like that. And now I take my stamp and I stamp into it. And what we're doing is removing the paint. So I'm just going to stamp off some of the paint there and see if I can do it again. Now if you get too much paint on, then when you stamp into it, it's too thick and you won't be able to get a nice image. I found when I used like the higher quality pigmented paints, you have to really make a thin line. So I'm just going to do that much, and I'm going to put my piece on, and you just burnish it with your hands just to try and pick up some of that paint and then peel it off. So you can see there the print I got. My design is there, and then the paint in between and where the design stopped. And because it's a thin layer, it's really quick to dry. So you just let it set for a moment and you'll be able to continue on with some more steps. But you can see all the interesting backgrounds you can get depending on what stamps you use. You can stamp various things. You can do one, you can then do another layer and put it in through the paint again. But it just shows you how to use your stamps with your printing press. So I'm going to put this aside, out of my way. And I have this one here that I had done the other day. Oh, I just want to mention, you want to make sure you clean your stamps when you've used acrylic with it. So what I do while I'm still working is I just spray a lot of water on it and set it aside until I can get over to clean it off. That'll just make sure the paint doesn't set on my stamp. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some distress inks to this card. I just need to grab my tool. Okay, I have my inking tool. So I have picked raspberry, I have ripe persimmon, and squeezed lemonade. Maybe I'll start with some yellow. And I'm basically just trying to get into those white areas that didn't pick up the paint. Okay. Now, the distress inks actually won't stick to where the paint is, where the acrylic is. So what I do is I take a cloth and I spray some water and then I wipe it off. Now the reason why I use a cloth for this, I've used paper towels before, and because it's a little textured, the paper towels can end up sort of pilling a bit and getting on your project. So I like to use a nice smooth cloth to do this, just so I don't get those little pills and stuff on my project. So there, it picks up off the paint, but you still get that extra color added into your background. So next I'm going to take the Belinda's Borders and stamp over. Now because I still haven't cleaned that other one, I'm going to use this block I have. Now to stamp over top, you want to use archival ink. It comes in a huge range of colors. I have manganese and plum here. Because I knew this, I had used a darker paint there. I knew I needed a darker ink. Now because that pattern's there, I don't want to stamp right over top, so I'm just going to go over here again. And so you can see the little hearts there. You can just wipe that off. Maybe I'll do the little curly cues. So we'll see how this blue goes on top of the blue. You can see it there. It didn't quite stamp there, but that's fine with me, because when you're doing something like this, it doesn't have to be all perfect and neat. And I'm going to use this color again. Now I'm going to use a little birdie. And I'm just going to put the birdie with black. And I like to put the bird standing on a heart. I think he's cute there. Give the birdie a little bird bubble. I guess in this case it's a thought bubble, because it's going to have the little thought thing. So I'm going to go this way up. Like that. And then I'm going to take my Happy Everything. And I'm putting happy across one line, and birthday, I'm just centering it like that. So when you turn it this way, you can see happy birthday. And there we have a cute little birthday postcard ready to be sent out to one of my friends. And that's how you can use Lawn Fawn stamps or other stamps with your Gelli Arts printing plate. Well, that's it for today's episode, and that's it for 2012. We're taking the holidays off, and we will return in January with new episodes of Scrap Time. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this year, and I hope you have a safe and happy holiday.